you feel it's hard to start and run a business?
Business is business. That is one. Entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. And whether it's a colored entrepreneur or is a black entrepreneur, I would say that the fields usually are never equal for any individual in the business sector. But I'll also say that 20%, when you look at the U.S. Bureau of Statistics, it tells you that 20% of businesses that are started in a year, 20% usually fail after their first 2 years into business. They go ahead and tell you 65% fail in their period of 10 years into business. And then 25% are only able to see the light after all that long. This statistics is not segregative of whether it's black or it's white or it's colored, Latino, and name it. I want to believe that as much as the systems are not leveled, an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur will walk around, and find avenues through which their businesses will be able to thrive. What am I trying to say? With all due respect, I am black. I love being black. I love myself because that is who God has created me to be. And I love everyone, everywhere, from anywhere. And having understood that, I also understand the ideology that the more we make ourselves look vulnerable and perhaps demand, right, for a special treatment, the more certain individuals in the community are going to perhaps take advantage of us because we are defining ourselves as an inferiority species or race. I believe that it is true that systems need to be put in place. It's also very true that governments have to remove the racial discrepancies and racial systematic, exclusion that may be there. I name it. But I want to believe that any black entrepreneur is capable, no matter what the system looks like, even with the systematic exclusions that are in place, even with the unleveled ground. I want to believe that when an entrepreneur studies the environment, is able to traverse through those systems. So I don't want to I don't want to bend low and say that with all due respect, I'm saying it with all due respect. I don't want to bend low for a bank when it fails to give me money. Because look, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to look for avenues to look for that money. I'm going to look for avenues to look for that money.
A determined spirit of an entrepreneur.
Determined spirit of an entrepreneur.
Never giving up or
never giving up. And that I will say with the pride that is the spirit of an African child. That is the spirit of the black child. That we know what we've gone through 200 years ago and name it. But we're still standing. And hey, even in the business world, we're putting up big corporations. Even with the systems that are unleveled, we're saying we are capable. We are like there's a plant called a lichen. It grows in solid rocks. It's able to flower in solid rocks. It's able to, penetrate the solid rocks and and grow on a solid rock.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the black person. But I'm not saying that this should be used as an advantage for, our leaders to, keep, putting on leveled grounds. But what I'm trying to say is that usually all entrepreneurs face similar challenges. And if your racial, persona comes in, and also you're limited or you're faced with challenges in that regard, as an entrepreneur, let's come to the table, let's reason together. That's what Christ Jesus said. Look for people with similar minds, with similar thrills, attractions. If the bank has denied you the money, look into partnerships. So, but as we equally advocate, for those avenues to be made better, but that should not be.
I shouldn't limit
Limit
us not to go further. Interesting.